Hi everyone, my name is Ahyan and welcome to my new YouTube channel. So this should be my first video on my channel. Welcome. I'm so happy that you've joined me. Some of you may be coming from my couple channel with my girlfriend Clinette. I'm glad you followed me here. I hope you will enjoy my book content, and I'm just really happy to be starting this new thing. If you don't know me and you are just finding my channel because you love books, then thank you so much for being here. I hope you will stick around. I'm 23 years old. I live in Canada, in Quebec, Canada. So maybe I will do another video to introduce myself, but today I just wanted to talk about books. And in this video, I will be talking about my TBR for 2022. This list is all the books I want to read the most in 2022. So I have 15 books on this list. At first I thought maybe I'm gonna do 22 books, but I really wanted to keep it to just the books that I want to read the most. So some of those books I own, some of them I don't yet. There's even 2 books that I've already read because I'm filming this mid-January. But without further ado, let's get started. I'll start with the 2 books that I've already read. They were on my list. I already planned my TBR like when the year just started, but I have since read it, which you will see in a reading vlog that will be coming after this. So I'm not going to talk about it that much. But the first one was The Song of Achilles. This is one of the most popular book talk books. So basically all I knew going into this is that it was Greek mythology. The 2 main characters are gay, and also everyone's saying it's so heartbreaking, it's gonna make you cry, and it's just like devastating. Unfortunately, I did not really enjoy this book. It wasn't bad, like the writing was really beautiful, but the story to me was just kind of boring. I didn't really care about the characters or the romance, even though there are some cute moments. As you can see, I did annotate some moments that I like, but overall I was just kind of over it. I'm glad I read it because I did really want to read it to see what all the hype is about, but it was unfortunately not for me. The second book that I already read but was on my TBR for 2022 was It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. Kind of the same as The Song of Achilles. It was everywhere on Book Talk and BookTube, and just everyone and their mother were talking about this book and how incredible it is. So I was excited to see what it's about. When I was reading it, the first half I was like, okay, this is fun, this is cute, 3 stars vibe. I'm liking it, but I didn't really understand what the hype was about. However, the second half, oh my god, I was not expecting that. I didn't really know anything about it going into it except that it was going to be heartbreaking. And oh my god, it was heartbreaking. Fantastic. However, there are a few things that I didn't like, so I ended up giving this 4 out of 5 stars. If you want to hear more of my thoughts on this book, definitely watch my next reading vlog, which will be my first reading vlog. Okay, so now that we've already talked about the 2 books that were on my TBR and I've already read, let's talk about the 13 others that I still haven't read but really want to get around to in 2022. So the next book on my list is These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. It's a young adult fantasy duology, which is a Romeo and Juliet retelling, which takes place in Shanghai. So this, I've been really wanting to read. I'm gonna be honest, the main reason is that I love the author. I follow her on Book Talk and on Instagram and Twitter, and she's so relatable and funny, and I love her and how she talks about her book. Like, you can see she's so passionate. She's also pretty young. I think she's like 21 or something, 22 maybe. Like, she's even younger than me, and like she already has a duology out into the world. The second book is already out and I still haven't read this. I finally got it for Christmas. I'm just so excited. I've heard the romance is great in this as well, and I can't wait to read it. The next book that I really want to read in 2022, I don't have it with me currently, and it's This Woven Kingdom by Tahereh Mafi. I am the biggest fan of Tahereh Mafi. The Shatter Me series is my favorite fantasy series of all time, and this is a new fantasy series of hers that is coming out. I know nothing about it except that it's written by her and it's a new fantasy. I think it just came out or it's going to come out. Can't wait to read it. The next book I'm gonna read also is one that I've seen on Book Talk quite a lot, and it is My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. This is one of my best friend's favorite books, and if she says she loves it, I trust her. This is a story about a young girl. She's 17, that falls in love with her professor, who is 42 years old. So apparently it's extremely difficult to read. I personally have never read Lolita because I know it romanticizes pedophilia, which I don't want. I've heard that this is the complete opposite. Like, it does not romanticize it at all, and it's super, like, it opens an important conversation. It's difficult to read. It makes you uncomfortable on purpose is what I've heard, which I thought was really interesting and is gonna get me out of my comfort zone. Apparently the writing is beautiful, so I'm just really excited to read that and see what it's about. The next book I want to read is A Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson. I also don't have this book yet. It's quite a short book. It is a vampire story. I love vampires. They're my favorite, like, mythological creature. And this is a story about polyamorous main character, I believe. And I don't know, I've just heard that it's great. That's all I know. I haven't read a vampire book in a while, but I've heard many people talking about this one, saying that they loved it. So I'm just looking forward to it. The next two books I will be talking about that I want to read in 2022 are classics. I think every year for the past 4 years, one of my goals was to read more classics, and I never do. However, this year I'm not putting pressure on myself. Those are the only two books that I'm telling myself I will read them before the end of the year because I really want to. However, I would love to read more, but I'm not putting any pressure on myself. Classics do take a lot of my time. I read them a lot more slowly. I think I'm gonna like them. I really think I'm gonna like them. The first one is Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. I know about the story of Little Women. I think everyone does. I have never seen a movie, like one of the adaptations. I haven't seen one, and I haven't read the book, and it's one of the classics that I want to read most. And the reason for that is that I'm a big fan of the show Friends, and in an episode, Rachel is reading Little Women, and then Joey reads Little Women, and there's this whole episode about it. If you're a fan of Friends, you probably know what I'm talking about. And ever since seeing that episode, I'm like, okay, I really want to read Little Women, and I want to be able to watch the adaptations, especially the newer one, and be able to compare it to the book. So yeah, I really want to read this, so I'm hoping that I get around to it. Second classic is The Great Gatsby. I don't actually know what the story of The Great Gatsby is, but I know it's a lot of people's favorite book. It's a pretty short classic, so it's very much doable. It's not gonna be like too draining because it's not too long. Also, I found this beautiful copy on Book Outlet, which, look how gorgeous that is. I absolutely love it. There's so many beautiful editions for classics. I also haven't seen the adaptation with Leonardo DiCaprio for this, but I want to. That's another one that I want to read. The main reason being that I found this beautiful edition, and now that I have it, I should read it. The next book that I want to read in 2022 is Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare. I'm a fan of Cassandra Clare. There's some problematic elements in her books, but she's so good at creating this beautiful universe. The Shadowhunter universe is magical and amazing, and there's so many elements, and it's so well thought of. I have read the Mortal Instruments series, all 6 books. I've also read the Infernal Devices trilogy. The Infernal Devices is my favorite series, and what I've heard is that the Shadowhunter series she's putting out just keep getting better and better with even better characters. So I think this is the one that she published after the Infernal Devices. I'm not sure. I've had this on my shelf for probably over 3 years, and I still haven't read it. The reason being that it's a chunky book. I'm not a fan of reading big books, but this I really want to force myself and read it because I know I'm gonna love it. The next book I want to read is Bunny by Mona Awad. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. This book apparently is just very weird, beautiful writing, and I think it's horror, or like it's a creepy book. I'm not sure if it's horror or not. If it's a thriller, I'm not sure. I actually started listening to it on audiobook because I didn't have the physical copy, but I had the audiobook. So I started listening to it, and after I think like 3 chapters, I was like, no, because I could hear that the writing is beautiful, but when the writing is so beautiful, I want to be reading it physically. So I stopped listening to it because I'm like, I want to read this book and annotate it because I already know I'm gonna love it because the writing, amazing, absolutely amazing. So I want to read it. I just need to buy it. Don't know why I still haven't. Yeah, want to read this. The next book is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. This is another fantasy series that I've had for a long time, but series intimidate me because I'm like, it's so time consuming. So basically all I know about this is that it's V. Schwab. I still have not read anything by V. Schwab, but I know so many people love her. And this, when I read the summary, just sounded like such an interesting concept. It's set in London, and there's these different versions of London that, from what I understand, are in different parallel universes. There's like Grey London, Black London, Red London, and I think White London. Yeah, there's like 4 different worlds, and there's someone that's able to travel between these worlds. I don't know anything else, but the concept of all these different versions of London, someone being able to travel between them, and the magic, that just sounded like such an interesting concept, and I want to know more about it. Who knows if I'll get to the rest of the series this year. Maybe I won't even like it and then I won't want to continue, but I want to finally read this. The next book on my TBR is Open Water by Caleb Azuma Nelson. I actually just ordered it, so it should be coming next week, and I want to read it in February. It's basically a romance. It's a short book, and all I know is that it's beautifully written. That's all I've heard, is that it's kind of tragic, kind of heartbreaking, beautiful love story, and that the writing is like chef kiss. So that's all I know, and I love short books. I really love short books because finishing books makes me feel accomplished. So short books mean that I can read more books and feel more accomplished. So yeah, that's one of the reasons I want to read it. But also, the people I've heard talk about this, I've only heard great things. I haven't heard one single person say they didn't like it. The next book I have is Plain Bad Heroine. I bought this last year and was planning on reading it around October. This is a sapphic, like dark academia kind of book. It happens at like some kind of boarding school, and then there's this kind of like mystery, and I don't know. Emily M. Danford is the person who wrote The Miseducation of Cameron Post, which is one of my favorite books. So when I saw that she published this, I love the concept of dark academia so much. So I really want to read more like dark academia books. It's a chunky book. Like the writing is quite small, and there's a lot of writing on each page, and it's over 600 pages. But this book also is so beautiful. Like, first of all, look at that amazing cover, and there's some illustrations in the book as well. Come on, look at that. This just gorgeous. But I'm pretty excited to read this. And then the last 3, I think I said I have 15 books, but now that I'm thinking of it, I actually have 16. The next 3 books are new releases coming out in 2022. I think they're all coming out like at the beginning of the year. The first one actually just came out, and it is Reminders of Him by Colleen Hoover. So this wasn't originally on my TBR, but when I read It Ends With Us, I decided to add it because I knew I wanted to read Colleen Hoover's new book. It had been a while since I had read Colleen Hoover, but it made me really want to get back into her books because they're just such a good time. I know nothing of that book, but Colleen Hoover's books are very similar, so I kind of know what to expect. So the next book I want to read in 2022 is I Kissed Sarah Wheeler by Casey McQuiston. Basically, they're the same author who wrote Red, White, and Royal Blue, and also One Last Stop. I absolutely adored Red, White, and Royal Blue, and I also very much enjoyed One Last Stop. So I'm very excited to see what her new book will be about. I know it's a sapphic romance, so of course I'm excited about it. But yeah, I don't actually know what the story is about. I literally just know that it's a sapphic romance, so I'm already sold. And then the last book that I want to read in 2022 is Homicide in Halo Halo by Mia P. Manansala. She's an American-Filipino author, and this is her new cozy mystery series. This is the second book in the series, which is a companion trilogy, I believe. I read the first book, which was Arsenic and Adobo. It was my first time reading cozy mystery, and I really liked it. I don't think it's the kind of book I would gravitate towards very often. However, I really like thrillers. I love the intrigue of it, but I'm not always in the mood to be like scared and stuff. So a cozy mystery was a lot more fun than I thought, and it's really what it is. Like, it's a mystery, but it feels cozy. But yeah, I had a really fun time reading this, and this is the second book in the trilogy, which is going to be still around the same family but with different main characters. I'm excited to read Homicide and Hello Hello. And those are all 16 books that I want to absolutely read in 2022. Please let me know in the comments what are the books that you're most looking forward to reading this year, and also like, and please, if you would like, subscribe. I'm so excited to be starting this channel and to be posting many videos, and what you can mostly expect from me is reading vlogs, so please look forward to that, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching.